larger than life. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean. He's labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike. He'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say. He'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
Hi, good morning. Woo! That's all I can say. We had a big night last night. So I'm just going to keep these on for a few minutes. We are here at Humphreys in San Diego. I'm continuing the roadshow. My voice is probably a little bit hoarse. We had the Cult in town last night. And actually our hotel room is maybe 20 minutes. There's Sam behind me. Say hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
There we go. All right. So Sam actually flew out. We went to see the Cult last night. Had a big time. Had a little too much to drink. But anyway, it's really good to see everybody. And we'll continue this road show. Who the hell knows where I'll be on the next one? But anyway, I'm down by the bay. I know it's tough to see. You may hear some birds. You may hear some music that they're playing by the pool out there. And you may see some people you don't want to see. So anyway, we are continuing the series with special guests, and I'll introduce him in a minute. Last week, had a big time in Phoenix. Went to the Gray Bar Table Tech Talk Symposium, something like that. Anyway, it's a golf tournament. And we always have a big time at the golf tournament. In fact, I am going to share a couple of things with you. Let's do this. And let's see, I'm going to share this. Hey, everybody. So I'm going to share and we'll see what comes up here. Here we go. So look at this, man. So the shirts were out. The publicity was out with the BS with Todd. We just had a big time. And now that I look at this picture, what are those guys doing? Anyway, no, we had a good time. And so that was the Gray Bar golf tournament in Phoenix last week. It was fantastic. And so here's a little something from, let's see if I can bring this up. Here we go. So let's do this, and here's a little something from last night. I told you we had a big time. So I think, now Sam says that's Billy Duffy on guitar. All right. Billy Duffy is an iconic legend of a guitar player. And that looks like some guy named Fred. I don't know, but I don't think that was Billy Duffy. Anyway, that's here and there. So anyway, that was last night. Again, we had a big time, and recovering up from it today. So continuing on the series of bringing guests on board. This gentleman, and he's laughing right now because I call him a gentleman. I've known him for a long time, a very long time. All right. Kate's on board. Hey, Kate. So Kelly Swift is actually in the background kind of running this. Kate is on a plane, or she's doing something, but she just said sup. So sup. Anyway, so Pete and I have known each other for many, many years. And we saw each other in Bixby. And I said, Pete, why don't you come on the show? And he said, absolutely not. But you know what? It's amazing what a Jackson will do, a $20 bill. So anyway, Pete has agreed, and Pete Delaurier. In fact, you know what, Kelly, go ahead. Let's show the folks Pete. Hi, Pete.
Hey, Todd. How are you, buddy?
Good. I hope you spent that $20 well. All
You
right.
know what? It was a 10. I think you had too many to drink there too, because I don't know who else you're paying, but it was a 10 for me. So, but I spent it well, Bob.
All right. Well, you know what? I owe you 10. How's that?
Attaboy.
Anyway. So, Pete, we've known each other for, good Lord, a lot of years. All right. And Pete is with UCL Swift. And one of the things that Pete's going to talk about, and I'll let him do most of the talking, is obviously the product line, but he's got a specific product that he's going to kind of focus in on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little labeling, and labeling for fiber. I tell you it's a tough job, because typically they're flags, right? And I am not a fan of flags whatsoever. And I'm gonna talk about something a little bit different today when talking about identifiers or labels, for fiber. But before I get to that part and put everybody to sleep, Pete, again, folks, this is Pete, UCL Swift. Thanks again for being on the show today. Pete, go ahead and tell us a little bit about maybe a little history with UCL Swift and kind of where you guys are right now, and where you're going, and specifically that one product that is a badass product, man. So, Pete, the floor is yours for a few minutes. So, all you, man.
I appreciate it, buddy. And I got to tell you, I can't thank you enough. I've seen your show before and thought, what do I need to do to get on it? And here we are. I really appreciate it. I'll be honest, I've been with UCL Swift for 8 years, and it's one of the best companies I've ever worked for. It's a product set that really in and of itself sells itself. UCL Swift was formerly known as America Ilsen Tech. And what had actually transpired, America Ilsen Tech started in 1982 in Daejeon, South Korea. We were a precision tool company that basically primarily focused on precision cleavers, and had grown into the company we are today, servicing splicers, cleavers, splice on connectors. And in 2008, the company opened their doors in Dallas, Texas, and with a primary focus on the telco industry, basically telco background. For about 7 years, that was where the focus was. We had no exposure in the enterprise, none in the broadband markets either. So essentially, when I came on, we would say, who is America Ilsen Tech? Or we would introduce ourselves as America Ilsen Tech. Nobody would know who we were.
I still get a lot of that, Pete.
And to be honest, we're much further today, Todd, than we were 8 years ago. What had happened 2 years in, the company changed from Ilsen to UCL Swift, asked us to do that, and we felt at that time we were just too new within the market to make any kind of brand change. It would have really started us again back as step one. So we decided to hold off until we actually had better exposure. The greatest thing about our product, when I started 8 years ago, there were 5 of us, 3 of us on the outside, 2 of us in the office. And today we're 29 and growing.
Congrats, man.
That's huge, right? And this is through COVID, right? We hired every year through COVID. So it's a testament to what the product is. The product itself sells itself. And the beauty of our product is the all-in-one technology that's got the strip, clean, cleave, splice, and heater in it. The only thing we can't do with that, Todd, what can't we do?
I'm telling you that.
Label.
Well, I did a little bit of research on this, and I'm going to go back a few years when I actually used to work for a living as a contractor. And I'm probably going to hammer this, and Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can remember the days of splicing using a Corning, I want to say a 340M, right? A 340M. And I think we paid like $30,000 for this
Yep.
thing. It was massive, and it was heavy, and it was complicated. And splicing has come a long way. So the little bit of research I did do on this all-in-one, dude, I'm telling you, if I would have had that back in the day, look what this industry has done to me, Pete. I'm only 37 years old because of that Corning 340M. It's amazing. So you know what? If you would expand upon that all-in-one you were talking about, and then I'm going to talk about, you got the all-in-one, I've got the one and done. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let me know and let the folks know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. In the 90s, when I was actually myself in the field as a contractor, the fiber optic piece of the business was a specialty. And you didn't just get into fiber splicing. You had to start with the puck and polish prep work. And absolutely. It took you a series of steps before you even considered to become a fiber splicer. And it truly was a trade at that moment that was it took experience and it took time. And again, I'm not saying that it doesn't take experience with our product. Our product does not make a fiber guy. What it does is it positions a company and gives them the ability to train a new technician on how to splice under the right tutelage. And that's the key. Is we've got the stripping aspect of it. It'll strip up to 1 inch of tight buffered and acolyte coating off the fiber right down to the bare 125 glass. And it does this without scratching, nicking, or harming the glass. And so it's a hot thermal stripper, strips it right off. And so again, what it does, when I first started with the company, my two boys at the time were 11 and 12. And I got this product, and I knew right away, because I came from distribution, I came from contracting, I knew what splicing was all about. I knew right away that this was something special. And I thought if I could get my two boys at those ages to splice a piece of fiber, that we can teach anybody how to use the machine. And in about a half an hour, I had them both able to perform a splice. So again, it really is that simple. What it is they are actual holders. What you'll do is you'll put your fiber optics in here. That's the hardest part of the whole process, is loading the holder. Whereas with conventional splicing, right, it's the manual stripping that's the technique that takes time to learn. Here you load a holder and you move it from station to station, and it really is that simplistic.
Yeah,
We've been adopted, but everybody that sees it, I call it the oh wow moment. As you literally give me 10 seconds and I'll get as much time as you're willing to give me, because again, once I hit that thermal stripper, people become very interested. It's an innovative product. We have patented technology. So if anybody says they've seen it, then they've seen ours. They haven't seen anybody else's.
Well, at the end of the show, keep in mind, we're going to show your contact information. So if anyone out there, wants to take Pete up on his 10-second challenge, go ahead and contact him there. So things have come a long, long way. Forgive my voice.
Yeah, you're good.
But things have come a long way in the industry. And that's one of the reasons why, I try to invite people such as UCL Swift and yourself on the show. Is labeling, again, the well went dry. I talked myself until I was blue in the face about labeling. So the beautiful thing about this is that it gives the audience a chance to hear about these innovative products like UCL Swift offers, to meet the representatives out there such as yourself, and then learn a little bit about labeling. So with the all-in-one, which it sounds like if you don't have an all-in-one out there, you're missing the boat, sadly missing the boat. And Pete's saying that even somebody like me could actually operate this and splice fiber. That's phenomenal. I buy it, for God's sakes. So outside of that all-in-one, Pete, do you have anything else that you want to talk about? Any new innovations? Anything else?
So yeah, just keep in mind that all-in-one technology we have across 3 splicers. You got your active clad, your core, and your ribbon. Okay, so we have an all-in-one in those 3 technologies, and then we have standalone technology, which is your conventional splicer, standalone cleaver, your manual stripper. We have that version as well in the core and ribbon splicers as well. So we've got all that. We've got splice on technology. So we've got every type of splice on connector and cleaning. And again, we're a fully rounded splicing company. It's a great product to take a look at. If you haven't seen it, please feel free to hit me up afterwards. I'd be more than happy to help point you in the right direction or show you what you need to see.
So you offer you offer your own connectors, right? Your own,
Correct.
In every type of
Flavor.
fiber option out there,
Yep.
right? All right. Now I'm going to ask you a stupid question because I get it asked. No. When people ask me, they're not stupid questions. I'm going to ask you stupid questions, but a lot of times people will say, "Hey, listen, can I use your tape cassettes in somebody else's printer?" All right, and the answer is no. You just can't do it with your splicing system. And you hope that they use the UCL Swift connectors, but can you utilize other connectors if there's a specific spec?
Yeah.
Or is it proprietary for your connectors on this?
So that's a great question. It's not a stupid
Not
question
really,
at all.
no, but
No, it really is because look, I can't. You got to be diverse, right? You've got specifications out there that are hard spec, what have you. There, when I first started, it was a proprietary product set across all platforms. The whole platforms on other splicers were either offset, they were diamonds instead of circle, what have you. They had their own way. Okay. And remember, when you're aligning a core, okay, the precision has to be exact. So if you had any play in these holders, right, that could alter the performance of the splice. Today's day and age, okay, there's only a few manufacturers of the splice on connector. Okay. We physically manufacture our connector. You've got everybody getting into the game. They understand the importance of the splice on connector. And as a result, you're getting companies like Corning, Comscope, Panduit. They're all jumping in and coming up with a connector. I can't say whose that connectors is, but again, it's only going to be manufactured by one of right? And so basically, what you'll start to see is some universal approach in some of the holders, and they're going to decide who are the top X amount of splicers that it's used in. We are very quickly at the top, what I consider to be that tier 1 market. We have made our way into that bucket. But with our product right now, you can see a Corning and our connector. The Corning Fuse Light 2 connector actually does work in our splicer. So we've been given the blessing to promote that, and so that's what we do promote. I will tell you though, there are other manufacturers that in the near future you will see our product be able to work in theirs. The difficulty with our product though is you need that thermal stripper, really, okay, because our connectors, and that's one of the value adds to our connector. Our connector is a 1-inch pigtail essentially, but it's protected till point of termination, whereas all the other competitors is a pre-strip, pre-cleaved, exposed glass connector, where ours, And one of the things I do, Todd, whenever I do a demo is I'll take it out of the pack and I'll drop it. Okay. You cannot drop anybody else's exposed fiber. Mine, because it is protected, it does not have a shelf life. You can prep as many you need right out of the gate. Basically, you take that connector, throw it into a holder, go right to your stripper. Once you've stripped and exposed glass, that's where you need to be careful, right? That's where you got to take some caution, because now you have exposed glass. But up to that point, the actual glass is protected. So,
well, Chuck Chuck Bowser's on here.
hey, Chuck.
Yeah, he just threw a little bone here, and thermal strippers are the best way to strip fiber. So again, Chuck's been in this industry much longer than we have. So he should know. So anyway, thanks, Chuck.
If you guys don't know who Chuck is, you need to go check out Chuck's channel. He's a great guy. Wealth of knowledge.
He's not bad. He's
Wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
And he's a motorcycle rider, so I mean, hey, you gotta love him.
Yeah. So one of the things, and I'm going to end this with some really boring crap right now, is labeling and identification. And I'll be speaking. So everybody, I'll be speaking at the fall Bixie in Vegas, and we're going to talk about smart buildings and the new buzzwords and stuff like that. But the important thing, and it's really essential with fiber, because obviously fiber is your backbone. That's what's feeding everything. And if it's labeled incorrectly, or if you have a label that falls off, sometimes you just can't unplug the damn thing. You'll take the network down. So it is very, very crucial that you identify this and that label stays secure. What I see a lot of are flags. And I'm not a big fan of flags, only because a lot of my competitors only print on, let's say, one side. But what happens if that flag is turned? You can't see it. Some of the other manufacturers out there, my competitors, it actually bleeds through. So even it may be backwards, but it's still bleeding through. So there's a particular data center in Phoenix, and I'm not going to name them, that we're in the process of supplying Brother versus what they're using right now. They still want to go with the flags. That's fine. All right. It's just my personal opinion is I'm not a big fan of flags, because you get a lot of these together and they're hard to read and they look like crap. And so anyway, one of the things that I've been successful with is actually using heat shrink and a heat shrink tube. So imagine you're taking a UCL Swift all-in-one machine, and you're going to take that piece of heat shrink that you print from one of my printers, and you're just going to slide that over, right, the jacket. You're going to go ahead and you're going to splice this thing, and then now that identifier can move up and down that jacket, and it doesn't look like crap, because everything is uniform, it's symmetrical. So one of the things, again, that I recommend for fiber is using our heat shrink, which is our HSC, and we go up to 36 millimeters on the HSC. So even if, and again, not heating it, don't heat the damn stuff up. All right, I haven't tried. I wouldn't try. But the nice thing about using that, let's call it a sleeve, all right, is that you can slide it up and down. Let's say you have to re-terminate that, you have to resplice it at some point. You can still keep that identifier on there just by sliding it back. The other cool thing about that is, and I'm going to talk about asset management here. So right now, I'm going to go back to the same data center in Phoenix. You take a look at one of these, there's flags, right? They got 6 lines of information on each flag. Oh no, it's crazy. All right. They may be watching, so I'm not going to say crazy stupid. I'm just going to say crazy. So what I proposed, and we're working on it right now, is actually taking a QR code and putting it on that sleeve. So the beautiful thing about the heat shrink is that you can pull from a database. So let's say that you've got 200 splices going on, and you've already predetermined what those identifiers are going to be. You can pull that information from a database, and one of two things. You can either print that in alphanumeric onto the heat shrink, or you can print a QR code. So imagine now that same company in Phoenix They love their 8 lines of information. They'd probably like to get more, but imagine getting 4,000 characters on a QR code. So let's say inside of a data center, if the user does the road work ahead of time, is that you can map everywhere that fiber jumps, hops, goes to, coming in from your OSP, into the infrastructure. Again, whatever you can put onto a QR code, and there's many characters, is a nice little mapping system. So the thought process I want to get out there to the audience is, whether it be a traditional cable wrap. Now, if the fiber is thick enough, obviously the jacket, if you have 72 strand, 144 strand, whatever the case may be, then I recommend just a standard cable wrap. But when you get down to the individual strands and you're going in the LIU, then again, heat shrink. All right. So if you want any more information on the heat shrink or how to use our databases to print those, let me know. And I think, Pete, what I'm going to do is, I told you I was going to send you a machine, which I am. But then what I'm going to do is, you and I will get on a call and we'll go through the process of what I think is somewhat innovative. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, but again, I'm just trying to get the audience used to different ways of thinking, so where it looks neat, and again, it'll stay on there as long as you keep it on. It won't fall off. So again, consider that heat shrink. God, with that being said, look at. All right, hold on.
Tell you, that was, and let me just add, being a contractor, I remember in the 90s, what it was all about, taking it from a rat's nest installation to a trunk line. Anything you can do to make that a aesthetically pleasing installation is going to elevate you as a customer. And I love what you're talking, that from an installation guy, I see the value in that, and that's a beautiful product to implement.
Well, these customers are spending a lot of money, right?
Absolutely.
And margins aren't the way they used to be, and obviously you want the repeat business. So when I was a contractor in Dallas, I followed certain companies, and because I knew they just did crappy work, and I ended up doing quite well by following these guys. And again, it's doing it right. All right, one and done. And when I talk about one and done, you got the all-in-one. I'm talking one and done. Is that you don't want to get a call from the IT director, the facilities guy, saying your labels are coming off. They're laying on the floor. Number one, it looks bad on you as a contractor. Number two is that you're spending your own money and dashboard time to go out there and replace labels. So one of the things I always stress about, brother, is that the labels are not going to come off until you physically remove them. All right. And the fact that you can work from a database out of our printers, if you make a mistake, fix a mistake on the spot. So again, I like the one and done. Do it right, get the hell out of there, move on to the next job. Don't worry about the labeling. So again, you have the all-in-one. I preach the one and done. So again, thank you very much for coming on board. Appreciate it. It's 10. It's almost closing time anyway. Any closing remarks, my friend?
I just want to thank you, Kelly, and Kate. Kelly, you nailed it. Great job. Kate, thank you very much for your help. And Todd, I can't tell you, I'd love to do it again if you ever want to. I look forward to it. You've got a great show and a great message.
Does that mean I owe you the other $10?
That's exactly what that means.
All right. So we're going to show you. We're going to show you contact information, folks. Anybody out there, trust me, who's ever been in the industry and has done things the old way, call Pete, for God's sakes. The whole idea is get in, get out. Less time spent. Again, and more margin too. We're all after margin. So the quicker you can get things done, whether it be splicing or labeling, that's a good thing. So anyway, here's Pete's contact information there. If you have any questions, please get a hold of Pete at any time. What do we got? What do we got next there, Kelly? Upcoming schedule. All right. So what do we got here? The Pro Label tool breakdown. So Brother has a new app out there. We've had the cable label tool for a long time. Kind of archaic, a little Cro-Magnonish. Cro-Magnonish. Yeah, that one's mine. You like that one? Geez, I like that one, Sam. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, we have a new app out there. And the beautiful thing about this app is that you can do just about anything on the app that you can do on the printer, including now serializing and bringing in databases. So it's pretty innovative. I'm going to go through that with you on May 26th. Tape Talks with Todd. I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk tapes. That's what it says here. What would Todd do on the 23rd? I don't even want to know. I mean, I'm right off the top of my head. I'm thinking, and this show may be ugly. All right, what would Todd do? Anyway, we'll save that one for later. So as far as to contact the team, all right, we're going to show the contact for the team out there. Oh no, the YouTube thingy. Because I'm on YouTube, got our own URL now, BS with Todd out there. So if you're close to a computer screen, click on that QR code, go and like it or share it or whatever the hell that makes my marketing folks happy. All right. And thank you very much. If you're already on board with that, thank you much. Myself, I'm out of California most of the time. Actually, next week I'll be in Austin. I'm doing an ADI show in Austin. And Pete, one other thing. So we were talking before the show, and there's a bunch of smaller distributors out there, but Pete was very excited that they just got in with Gray Bar. So congratulations, Pete. Love Gray Bar. Congratulations. And anyway, that's something that we forgot to talk about. So anyway, as far as contacting us, I'm usually out of Southern California. I'll be in Austin next week. I'm sure we'll shoot some video out of there. I'm doing a big ADI show in Austin. Mr. Jamie Brookover out of Virginia Beach. Mr. Dan Cobb in Wisconsin. Mr. Bruce Page. Bruce, it was very good to see you a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, Bruce is out there if you need him. Mr. Rob Dawkins out of North Carolina. Hi, Rob. Mr. Craig Robinson hails out of Sarasota, Florida. And as soon as this is done, I got to get on the Salesforce and do some stuff. So anyway, that's how to contact the team. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Kate. Brad, great, always great to see you out there. Tom, everyone that comes on the show, Chuck, thank you very much. We're gaining a much larger audience. Again, it's more industry stuff than just labeling. I'll throw a little bit of labeling in there, as well as some of my industry experience. But anyway, thank you very much. It is 10:32, 2 minutes over. I really look forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk about the new Pro Label tool out there. And until then, please stay safe. Say goodbye, Sam. Goodbye, Sam. Okay. Anyway, we're out. And again, thank you very much. Stay safe. Todd out.